Your home for our Atlanta Falcons, Hawks, and Atlanta United. Your teams play here. Sports Radio 92.9, The Game.
Atlanta! What's going on? It's Dukes and Bell on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. We start off every day and every hour by saying, hey, man! It is a Falcon Monday, and listen, I'm going to take you guys back before the season started. When I was having conversations with the guy to my left right now, and you can watch us on Twitch, you can watch us on YouTube, at YouTube 929 The Game, and at twitch.tv/ATL 929 The Game. And he was saying that the quarterback was going to be a game manager. And I was responding by saying, no, don't tell me that. And then we had a huge conversation before the season started as to how many yards, maybe per week, per game, that Desmond Ridder would throw for. And Mike said, well, if he's a game manager, he won't be throwing for more than 200 yards. And I said, no, don't tell me that. Desmond Ridder threw for 250 yards. But the storyline of this game is we left 21 points on the board. 21. The game's final, okay, was 16-13. And yes, congratulations, Younghoe Koo. I'll take a win however we get it. But we left 21 points on the board, and we left them on the board because of our quarterback. Now, you can decipher how you want to blame Desmond Ridder. Whether the fumble in the end zone, he should have secured the ball better, the fumble with him and Dahlman, we can talk about it, and we will. But, Mike, we are winning in spite of our quarterback play right now. Right. And this is the biggest thing that is bugging me. I still believe that Ridder's going to turn the corner. He's going to get better. These mistakes are all correctable. But we're saying this every single week, Mike Bell. Every week.
Yeah, and this is the roller coaster. That's why we were up at Flowery Branch, and we heard the phrase from Arthur. We heard it from other players. We're on the roller coaster, and I have a feeling this roller coaster is going to last 17 weeks. I think we're just going to kind of take the good with the bad. You know, we've already talked about it, Carl. We are in this kind of, you know, this zone where we're good enough to win. The defense is going to keep us in every game, especially when you look at who's left on the schedule. But the offense, I mean, we know this. You know this. Guys listening know this. Even if you're a big Ridder guy, you can't turn it over 3 times in the red zone against a good team and expect to win, let alone a playoff caliber team, Carl, in the postseason.
So, and the one that frustrated me the most, it wasn't the one that he gets stripped in the end zone. That was just one of those fluke plays.
And that can happen to any quarterback. I'm not going to bellyache about that.
That didn't bother me as much as the fumble snap. The fumble snap after Drake London makes an amazing play, which I thought at the time was a touchdown, super slow-mo, shows me it's not. Fine. We're about to punch it in. And you cough it up at the 1-yard line? I was like, oh, my God. What? I'm lost for words. Like, I speak every day. This is what I do. I couldn't even say anything. How many times are we going to blow opportunities at the goal line? So here's the deal. We won. I'm happy about it. But these mistakes cannot continue to happen. And here's what Arthur Smith said about Ridder after the game, giving him credit for continuing to play through.
We just won the game, 16-13. Guy played phenomenal in the pocket, delivered the ball. Last week he threw a couple picks, fixed those. I understand it's like a game of whack-a-mole. But he's in his 11th start, just got a good road win against, what was that, the third-ranked defense in the league? So let's give him some credit. Let's give this team some credit for winning. There's always things to figure. We're not going to run away with some negative narrative. We found a way to win. I know this about Desmond Ridder. He's tough, and he's a winner.
He's tough, and he's a winner. Now, Mike, I said it. I'll take a dub any day of the week, okay? And I've told you guys, I don't care if we win by half a point, however we win, Younghoe Koo 50-yard field goal, it doesn't matter. I'll take a dub because half the league lost yesterday and the other half won. We happen to be in the winner's half. But with that said, if you are realistic about where this team can go and what you think it can do with a top 5 defense, and I want you guys to hear us clearly, top 5 defense, okay? And a run game that can also travel because yesterday, despite Bijan not being available, and we'll talk more about this, Mike, I thought CP and Tyler Algier were off the hook. I thought they were tremendous in how they wanted to run the football yesterday. And I didn't care if it was Bijan or not. Now, we talked about Bijan because nobody was aware of the circumstances going into this game that he was not going to play as much as we thought. But we still ran the football. We still broke the Bucs off for 156 yards combined. That's with Ridder running the ball, with those design run plays from the quarterback spot, and also CP and Algier. Those two things give me a lot of confidence as to why I still believe, Mike, we can win and will win this division.
Yeah, you saw the Saints. We know they're just very mediocre. We know that. And the Bucs, it seemed like Baker giveth and Baker taketh away if you're a Bucs fan. And you saw kind of the good, the bad, and the Baker. And the defense, basically, other than that final drive when he scrambled for like 30-some-odd yards, he was not a factor. So you were in a great position now to win this division. And then you say, well, what's the end game here? I mean, is Ridder going to get better? And the only way, I can't tell you definitively, I don't think Carl can either. I don't think even, I know for a fact Arthur Smith can't. He can say things like, he's tough. He's a tough quarterback. Yeah, and defense, Bucs are good. I get it. I know. We're not going to apologize for a win, as he said a few weeks ago after we beat Green Bay. But we can say that was a win with a lot of warts on it. There was a lot of stuff that left you scratching your head. If you weren't ready to throw something at the TV with those turnovers, can Ridder clean that stuff up? Because if you can't, even if the irony here, Carl, is could you win 10 or 11 games and still want a new quarterback at the end of the season? And we just might.
I'll say this. There have been a lot of great quarterbacks in this league who in their first year turned it over a lot. A lot of great quarterbacks who went on to have unbelievable careers, some of them Hall of Famers. The turnovers right now, some of them inexcusable, some you can account for and say, hey, that was a bad throw or whatever. He did not throw an interception yesterday. So when you talk about correcting those mistakes, playing that defense that he was playing, that was a positive note. I asked the question today, where are y'all on Bijan? Or should I say Desmond Ridder? And K Mignon, that's his Twitter handle. He says, I'm fine with Ridder right now. He says, this is year 2, or this isn't year 3. He hasn't played a full season. He says the sky isn't falling. And I think that's kind of how Arthur Smith feels. It's crazy, Mike, because the responses I got are all over the board. There are some people who say, hey, we're never going to do anything with this guy. And then there are other people who are saying, listen, all of the stuff that we're seeing right now, I'm okay with. This is not a guy that you were expecting to be playing like he's in year 5. A lot of you weren't. So I get it. All I'm going to say is we are winning right now in spite of our quarterback. What happens when the quarterback play gets better and the defense continues to do what they're doing and offensively the things that are working continue to do what they're doing? What's this look like? Well,
it looks like a playoff team, but will he get better? I mean, how much pain threshold do Falcon fans have to have with this guy? I mean, we should have beaten the Commanders, turn around and absolutely stink against the Giants. I know we don't get into comparative scores, but I think we all know we should have beat freaking Washington. So I hope that doesn't come back to bite us when it comes to maybe winning the division or playoff seeding. But right now, everything you said is accurate. Defense going to keep us in every game. This week, it was almost like a throwback. It was like BB, life before Bijan, I guess, BB. Bijan was out. We'll talk more about that. I still don't understand what the hell's going on there unless they've slow-rolled a major injury or at least something which is keeping him off the field, which, teams do in the NFL. We're not the only ones. But I loved it. CP was kind of the old school. He can move the chains, Carl. Runs with a ferocity. Algier was, how much was that beautiful run that got called back on the penalty, which was jive. Team did another really good job. 92-yard, let's be honest, a 92-yard drive, which unfortunately ends with a delay of game penalty again in the red zone, and then the Bijan not securing the ball fumble. But that aside, a win is a win. Don't apologize for it. But I think this team is going to win more games and make you pull your hair out as a Falcon fan.
Hacksaw USA says our local media is super impatient.
You think?
And negative towards Dez. He says he's had 1 year of sort of a mentorship to being thrown in. I don't even think he had a year, to be honest with you, because the other quarterback quit, but that's neither here nor there. And then he goes on to talk about the fact that, we all are directing our hate towards Ridder. He says, I think we're going to be fine. A lot of people feel this way. Melly Mel says, let's cut down on the mistakes. If we can do that, he's solid. It sounds easy. We've been saying it, though, every week. We're not saying Tyler Algier has a fumbling problem. We're not saying Kyle Pitts is dropping the rock. We're not telling you Drake London can't get open. These are fundamental things that the quarterback is doing every week now, touching the football and turning it over. So these fumbles, Mike, again, I don't know if it happens next week. I doubt it, but it was so maddening to see it all play out yesterday.
And for some of these guys that are texting in, will you guys grow a pair of balls, please? Oh, we're being a bully. Oh, we're being mean. He's played 11 games in the NFL. He had 3 turnovers in the freaking red zone. I mean, what part of that are you going to say? Growing pains. Play better. Okay? Come on. Let's go to, what is this, Pop Warner? I can excuse a 9-year-old. Come on. That's ridiculous. That's soft. Demanding more is not being mean. He needs to play better. It's a year. Here's the deal. It's a year audition. Let's do this thing, right? We got a team that spent millions and millions of dollars and is really solid. He's got to get his act together. So let's go.
Nicole says offense would be great if Desmond wasn't a walking turnover machine right now.
Bingo.
It doesn't matter if we're turning the ball over about the potential or his performance. Okay, but he still gets the win. It's on his watch, okay? Just like when things go bad with the economy, who's ever in the White House gets it on their watch. He got a dub. This hour is brought to you by the Man Cave Store. Visit mancavestore.com, guys. They've got everything you need. It is football season. They can take care of you. Dirty Hawks TV says, guys, we got to pay attention to details. Attention to details is what's in need. Well, listen, that is, I'm sure, part of the conversation that's going to be had this week with Desmond Ridder. It's the small things always that win or lose football games. And yesterday, can we say it? We got lucky. We got lucky. But luck is a part of sports, okay? If we had given that ball to Patrick Mahomes and not Baker Mayfield, do we win? If we had given that ball to, I don't know, Jalen Hurts instead of Baker Mayfield, do we win? That becomes the issue as you play out these games. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. So we got lucky. But you're right. Attention to detail, Mike, is something that has to be discussed.
All you need is competent quarterback play. Like Ryan Tannehill. I mean, take your favorite Matt Schaub. Take your favorite, slightly better than average quarterback. That's all we're looking for here. Defense going to keep you in. You got playmakers. You didn't even have Bijan out there. I mean, he was out there, but obviously wasn't involved. You still found a way to get it done. As you said, we left, even if you're kicking field goals, you left 9 points, Carl, on the field. I think you and I would agree. It's 21 points when you're inside the red zone. That's pay dirt. Touchdowns. Another thing, I know that Arthur Smith thought they were going to reset the clock. Another delay of game penalty. Now, he scrambles for what should have been touchdown, but doesn't secure the rock. But, we were told that was an aberration. We were told that that's only 1 or 2 times out of, how many hundred play calls. They had another delay of game in the red zone. So that's on the coaching staff. Everything else was great. Calais Campbell was rocking. Onyemata was having a big game. Jesse Bates is a rock star worth every penny we're paying him. It was so good to see, Pitts making big catches. It's just everything's cooking. We just need Ridder to figure this out. And Arthur, please help him figure this out.
Chug Shafe says first fumble wasn't really on him. Second one might be on the center. And that's
no.
That's interesting.
No.
Because how can you definitively say that Ridder moved before the ball was in his hand, or was it a bad snap? I don't know.
When the snap hits you in the freaking hands, you're supposed to secure the ball. Come on, what are we doing here? Matt Ryan never got this kind of grace.
What are you talking about?
Matt Ryan never got.
That's not true.
If Matt Ryan missed a fumble, are you kidding me? This is guys that are in their bag right now. Will you stop it already?
No, the second fumble, though, Mike, I don't know who's it on.
The ball was in his hands. It hit his hands.
It could have been that the center was trying to move too fast, and all of a sudden there's a missnap.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at those guys. So 3 fumbles in the red zone. Gee whiz. Guess the ball bounces. Funny for everybody. We'll figure it out. You guys are soft, man.
Nobody's saying that the 3 fumbles didn't happen, Mike. We're saying who's accountable for them.
I would think the quarterback with his hands on the football would be responsible for 2 of the 3 fumbles.
Well, but you're giving him grace. Speaking of grace, you're giving him grace on the one that he gets the ball stripped before he gets into the end zone. Come on.
No, I'm not. He's got to secure the football. The only one he gets a break from me on is the one that any quarterback from Patrick Mahomes to Lamar Jackson could get. Because you're getting hit, you're basically getting popped. You're not seeing the guy coming. That happens all the time in a very busy, cluttered huddle that it was. That's the one I'll give him a pass on. The other 2, no excuses.
Chug Safe goes on to say his passing was mostly good. You know what? The pass to Pitts was absolutely beautiful to set up the game-winning field goal. Obviously, we want to see more Pitts, but that's neither here nor there. And then Anthony White says happy with the passing game progression, but I am pissed with the turnovers. I think that's how we all feel. Arthur's right. The passing game has been better. Now, Mike, let's talk about this Bijan situation. First of all, for everybody that was freaking out yesterday, and this is why I didn't respond to anybody, because nobody knew. And you know why nobody knew? Because Arthur Smith doesn't have to tell anybody. This idea, like everybody that's on the team bus or on the plane or around the team, that he has this obligation to say, hey, by the way, Bijan might not play on Sunday, but I'm just letting you guys know. He doesn't have to say a word. So as things play out like they did on Sunday, nobody knew, and everybody was speculating. Then we find out at halftime when Arthur says it that he's not feeling good, okay? For me, I'm fine with this. It happens. Sometimes you don't feel good at work. Nobody knows because you're not an NFL player, but it just happens, okay? Here's where I'm at. We still ran the ball well. Did I want Bijan out there? Yes. If he's sick, fine. If he's not sick, Mike, and there's something else to this, guess what, Atlanta? We're going to find out sooner or later. So whatever it is, let's just wait and chill and see for a minute where this goes. If he's not available, Mike, Sunday against the Titans, we've got a problem. But I don't know if that's going to be the case.
Yep, I know that this team has got everything that you'd want in a year when you finally had some money to spend. Things were addressed that we needed to do better. Offensive line has still been, I think, better than, it's kind of driving me a little bit crazy, Carl. I still think that you said we ran for over 100 yards combined. Algier had some really big runs. Still a lot of penalties. Still a team that, I think that we thought would be better altogether on offensive line. But that aside, you're still in first place. 4-3, should be 5-2. And now you got as we said, more games coming up that knock wood or win. All these games are winnable if the quarterback doesn't fumble or throw interceptions 3 times. That's it. By the way, guys, I want Ridder to be good. I'm not on my couch yesterday going, well, I hope Ridder fumbles so I can yell about it on the radio Monday. No, I want him to be excellent. I want him to be the guy you and I talked about last year, the guy that could be the 3rd round pick, that could be the next Russell Wilson. So just get there.
Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. But these are the ups and downs of the season for a guy that's learning on the job. I said it last week. I'll say it again. And if you just expect perfection, you're watching the wrong thing. This is the NFL. Did you guys see any of these games yesterday? Did you guys watch any of these games yesterday? Did you see Jared Goff wet the bed yesterday? Oh, maybe it was the Ravens defense. Did you see Tua look human last night? I mean, this is the NFL. This is kind of what happens. And, Mike, until we get to a point, for me, all right, I know many of you are not where I'm at on this, but until we get to a point where I definitively can say, all right, he's got way too many games under his belt to be making these kind of mistakes. It's why at some point when Matt Ryan turned the corner, we're not talking about year 1, 2, or 3. When Matt Ryan was in 5, 6, 7, 8, and he's supposed to be damn good, you were not willing to give him any leeway with the simple mistakes that he was making because he had passed that point. We're not past that point with Ridder yet.
All right, so when do I finally have to say, okay, it's acceptable? I mean, what's the learning curve here?
I don't know.
17 weeks of him doing this?
I don't know, but you know who knows? Arthur Smith.
Well, no, Arthur Smith. Arthur has boxed himself into a corner by mishandling the quarterback position.
How's he mishandled
by
it,
not
Mike?
starting him last year and getting these reps out of the way and these mistakes out of the way.
How do we know they're out of the way if he starts him last year? There's no guarantee that he would be making these same mistakes.
He might have made the mistakes when there's nothing at stake. Now we're a good team with expectations. A team that should be playoff caliber, and I can't afford his mistakes. I wanted to learn on the job. That's why last year we should have gotten rid of Mariota and gotten him in there sooner.
We're a good team since when? Who's picking the Falcons to go to the Super Bowl?
Oh, so we're not a good team?
No.
So now you're telling me we're not a good team.
Who's picking the Falcons to go to the Super Bowl before the season started? Who? Tell me.
I said,
who?
How many wins did you get? How many wins did you
Tell
get?
me.
How many wins did you get? How many wins?
Nobody.
How many wins?
Nobody.
Oh, bull blank.
Nobody picked the Falcons to go to the Super Bowl. Name them.
Well, how many wins?
Name them.
How many? Okay, nobody picked them for the Super Bowl. How many wins did you say?
Thank you.
How many wins did you predict?
Winning
how
10
many wins?
games
How many
is
wins?
not going to the Super Bowl.
How many wins did you predict for this season?
Now all of a sudden we're a Super Bowl team.
Okay.
Name those people who said,
I'm sorry, you're right.
I got the Atlanta Falcons going to the Super Bowl.
You just changed the
Everybody in their
argument.
right
You just
mind
changed the
knew
argument.
that we had a quarterback who was not experienced and who would make mistakes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, now all of a sudden you're telling me, hey, we're supposed to be going to the Super Bowl. Since when?
I didn't say Super Bowl. I said freaking playoffs, and you're changing the freaking argument.
Since when?
How many wins did you say?
When?
How many wins did you pick? Did you say 11?
When is this supposed to happen?
I'm sorry. I guess Carl thought we were going to go 7-10. I misunderstood when you said. I misunderstood you're 11 for 7.
You keep talking about Ridder because you're right. You know what? You don't want to see him succeed.
I
you
do.
want to see him fail.
I want to
so
be
you can say I'm right.
Oh, BS.
That's where we're at.
Baloney. Who gives a crap if a radio host is right or wrong? I want this team to win.
I think a lot of people give a crap.
Okay, so now it's really? You're going to make this personal?
It's not personal. Your opinions are skewed to the kid can't play.
I said
and you're not willing to give him a shot.
I said he was a game manager. You said he's going to throw for 5,000 yards this summer.
PFF actually said that.
Yeah.
That's what PFF said.
I said he's a game. You said I said game manager. If you take it all the way back to when he was drafted, I said it. I just said it on the radio. I want this guy to be successful. I don't want to go to another year of not making the playoffs. But you did say 11 or 12 wins, Nostradamus.
Yes, I did.
Well, that
Mike.
means playoffs. And if you're in the playoffs, you could maybe win a few of those games. And who knows? You get to the NFC Championship, anything's possible.
11 or 10 or 11 wins is still possible. Guys, we got four wins right now.
Yeah, we should have 5. He's cost us 3 games. He's cost us the Jaguars game, the Washington game, and Carl, I got to be honest with you. I mean, the Lions game, you want to say that one's impossible to win? Okay.
Well, they sacked him 7 times, Mike.
Right.
Come
Well,
on.
But
Come
again,
on.
he also had plays to be made that he couldn't make. I was like, the dude, I get it. But here's the thing. It's a moot point anyway. We're stuck with him. Whether you guys think he's the next big star in the league or you think he's just a game manager,
But let's
they're
talk about
stuck
this.
with him.
But let's talk about this. This is the part where you say Arthur has boxed himself in. How?
He won't go to Heinicke. He knows that. You know why. You know
Is
why.
he supposed to?
Well, when I have
Is he supposed to?
How
With
many-
a 4-3 record?
Right.
Is he supposed to, Mike?
How many more turnovers? Most guys, I got to be honest, would have put him in the game in London at halftime when our quarterback nearly threw 3 interceptions in a row on 3 consecutive plays.
Why, though? Why? Because
I don't know, Carl. The object is to win the football game. And sometimes guys sit for a minute, they watch, they come back in, and it doesn't destroy their careers or confidence.
And this gets back to you not wanting to see him succeed. Because if you put Heinicke in,
I want to win.
It doesn't happen.
I want to win.
And what happens if Heinicke wets the bed, Mike? Then what happens?
Then you're screwed. That's why Arthur won't put him in. We're in. That's an academic argument. It's a moot point. Because we didn't play this guy much more than we should have. Now we're stuck. Now we're screwed. We're going to deal with his mistakes and a team which is really solid, a team which has a great defense, playmakers all over the place. We have to deal with up and down in the roller coaster for another 13 weeks.
If they wanted a veteran quarterback, they would have gotten one. They didn't go get one, guys. This is what they wanted. This is where they wanted to be. And now we have to live with this. But we won yesterday. 404-726-0929. Your turn to scream at us. 404-726-0929.
By the way, some of the audience is completely freaked out because this happens about once every 6 months. We don't normally are. When mom and dad are fighting, the kids get freaked out.
Where are you guys at with this whole situation? We're 4-3. We won. But here we are still upset that this guy, our quarterback, You're talking about my quarterback, is still making mistakes. What did you expect? Perfection?
No, I expect better than 3 turnovers a game and keep throwing the ball to the wrong guys.